Chapter 2, Darkwater Port. That wasn't much of a chapter. Pierce took the Hawkins case. The cursed artist is accused of having caused the fire that killed her and her family. As the only clue, she left her father a disturbing painting. On the shipping label and address, a warehouse set on the docks of the island of Darkwater. The place seems to be the starting point for Pierce's investigation. Focus Home Interactive presents a game by Cyanide Studio.
We're almost there.
Must be a private boat if he's the only passenger on it. Which makes sense if nobody knows about Darkwater. Call of Cthulhu, in case you forgot what game you were playing. Registered. Skyla.
Stay on board. There's guys coming to unload. Welcome to Darkwater Island, Mr. Pierce.
Why, thank you, Captain Fitzroy.
So, what wind brought you?
Does the Hawkins case mean anything to you?
A sad story that we would all prefer to forget. Charles Hawkins may have been a landlubber, but he was a good man.
And his wife, Sarah Hawkins.
A nice young woman, and a great painter. What a tragedy. You know what? Go have a drink at the Stranded Whale. What you need is a good pick-me-up. Mitchell may not be very welcoming, but his bar holds a surprise for you. As for me, you'll find me at the Harbor Master's office. If it's the Hawkins family that brings you here, I have a pile of documents that should interest you.
Understood. I'm going for a look around the docks.
Well, he's very accommodating. Talk to Fitzroy. Darkwater docks. On the approaches to Darkwater, I saw thick clouds masking the sky. They were so low, they seemed intent on impaling themselves on the sharp reefs that circled the island. Fitzroy, the captain of the only tub that manages to float to the mainland, offered to help me. He may have documents that belong to Charles Hawkins. Fitzroy advised me to visit the port's bar. He mentioned a little pick-me-up. I suppose I could get a lay of the land at the same time. Fishermen have gathered around the carcass of a killer whale. I could have a look and see what the local cops have got to tell me. Captain Fitzroy offered to share with me what he has found on the Hawkins in the archives of the Harbor Master's office. Another game that had an insanity mechanic was Amnesia: The Dark Descent. Although this game seems like it's gonna take a much more bold approach because the Dark Descent's approach to it was for enemies, and on the harder difficulties also for death. Whereas this one seems to be much more in line with the gameplay overall.
Fish, you've got no idea. Don't badmouth what you don't know, or you'll pay for it for sure.
The same goes for you, sir. Move along.
I'm looking for this address. Warehouse 36, Darkwater Harbor.
Ah. And so who are you?
I didn't introduce myself. Edward
Shit.
Pierce, private detective.
In any case, it's not very important. I can't answer that.
You can't? Or you don't want to?
Oh, no. I'm not getting into those games, me. Now, please, allow me to do my job.
You can't understand. Don't put that beast back in the water, you shysters. You're crazy. They're cops. They can't understand. Damn stupid idiots. Forget it. Nobody listens.
The blood is just beginning to coagulate. It died a short time ago. Only a specialist would know what killed it.
Don't put that beast back in the water, you shysters.
You can see that I'm busy, can't you?
You can't
That's no way
understand.
to
You're not
treat an omen.
sailors. Oh, it's a sign. There's something coming. Trouble. Something real.
Let me go to the bar first. Prohibition.
Prohibition is just a joke around here. That suits me fine.
If you know anything about Prohibition, then you know that it was a joke everywhere. Dude, okay. Okay, the only people who actually stayed dry during Prohibition were people who wanted it. Guess how many people wanted it? Almost no one. That's why it got repealed after 13, 14 years. Because no one fucking wanted it. It was a shit show. The through and through. Go to any major city. I think New York alone had thousands of speakeasies. Like, nobody gave a fuck. I just find it funny in games when during 1920s, they're like, oh, Prohibition, nobody cares about it here. Dude, nobody cared about it anywhere. I'm a stranger, you fucking prick. Who the fuck are you to fuck me?
Hey, be careful.
And he just took it. Strangely realistic.
Let's get him another drink. He's dry.
In my bar, we don't serve troublemakers.
You saw what happened. He's the troublemaker.
Oh, you're a true mainlander. A real princess. You strut around with your la-di-da ways, and then, as soon as the pressure rises, you start squealing. You don't have what it takes to drink my whiskey. You've got to earn it.
I'm here for information, not for a fight.
I prefer it that way. Speak then. I reserve the right to answer or not.
Do you know where this place is? Warehouse 36, Darkwater Harbor.
The Hawkins warehouse. I see, yeah. If I were you, I wouldn't hang around there.
Why not?
First off, there are rumors. Sailors from around here say you can hear noises coming from the warehouse at night. Screams, that sort of thing.
Screams.
And that's not all. There's the fate of its owners and all the superstitions that go with it. But I'll say no more. Anything else?
I'm not gonna ask this question because, like I said, there wasn't prohibition anywhere. Nobody gave a fuck about it.
The Stranded Whale. I guess this bar has been here a long time.
What can I tell you? I'm a nostalgic sort of guy. The name, it reminds us of the golden age of dock water. When our whalers left for long months and came back, sweating and stinking of the oil and flesh of the whales they'd been hunting.
It was a tough time, all the same.
Ah, but steeped in glory. We've never known such wealth since then.
What can you tell me about her?
We all knew she was famous on the mainland for her paintings. Never understood why. Then, I don't want to speak ill of the dead.
Her style made her famous. How would you describe it? Tortured?
Yeah, well, it wasn't normal. I mean, for a young woman with a child and all that. We saw them in the papers and we said to ourselves, who can paint such things? Is that how she sees the world?
So they made you feel uncomfortable.
You need to see them for yourself. Make up your own mind.
Her vision. Was it so terrible?
Way I see it, the truth is really a question of point of view.
What do you mean by that?
Do you still trust the truth after a bottle of whiskey?
I've got what I need.
Anything else?
Captain Fitzroy told me about a little pick-me-up.
Oh, yeah? That must have been before you came looking for a fight in my bar.
Oh, come on. Because of a little tussle.
Drinking it here is a privilege, and I grant the privilege to whoever I want. Anything else?
That's fair. You know what?
I didn't expect to find alcohol on this island. What's the source of this miracle?
You mean who? Our source of supply wouldn't like me to betray them to the first comer.
I'll tell nobody.
She'd know it anyway. Anything else?
So as I said before, it's actually pretty realistic about that woman being there, and here's why. Because of speakeasies.
That'll be all for now.
Speakeasies were a pretty normal thing in bars back in the day. Had certain rules. Well, not certain, unspoken rules. But when speakeasies became a thing, those unspoken rules went right out the window. And it got to a lot of, let's say, licentiousness. It's part of the reason flappers became a thing in the first place for anybody who knows anything about the 1920s.
Charles Hawkins was a heavy drinker. And a debtor. Interesting.
That is interesting. And at face value, one might think that that means that whoever he owes a debt to burned down his house, like let's say the Mafia, which, speaking of the 1920s, the Mafia was also a big deal, partly because of Prohibition, or largely because of Prohibition. But more so because to get himself out of debt, faking his own death. Where was that? Ah, there she is.
What you looking at, stranger?
You.
I've rarely seen a woman who can hold her liquor so confidently.
What gives you the right to judge me?
Ah, it was a compliment.
So what? Let me drink, stranger.
Alrighty. Someone's on the best of moods. And if you're a chick at a bar and a guy approaches you, you can take a guess at what he wants.
Do you like our song?
We're true sirens.
We may not be pros, but we give it all we've got.
That's true. It's a reminder of the time when we were still fishing for whales off Darkwater Island.
This is probably
What
important.
brought whaling to an end?
The whales, of course.
They all disappeared.
You exhausted the stocks.
You say that, yes. There were fewer and fewer of them.
Until the last, the biggest.
The one of the miraculous catch.
Exactly.
I've never heard this song before.
Only people from here know it. It tells the story of the miraculous catch.
It's a local legend?
Watch what you say, young man.
That catch saved our island.
Ah. Where's the proof?
We're the proof.
Without it, the whole of Darkwater would have died of hunger in 1847.
It's true. Everything happened just as it says in the newspaper report.
What report?
The one that's framed right behind you. Our grandparents tasted its flesh.
And it was delicious.
I bid you farewell, gentlemen.
Good night, stranger.
So long.
Stranger. Okay, so it's this.
The miraculous catch. Apparently, the most significant event of the last 80 years.
1847. The Skylar returns to port to save Darkwater from famine. Huh. We had given up hope. The crew of the Skyla, or what remains of it, returned to Darkwater port on Tuesday afternoon. The locals immediately rushed to the docks to welcome the last whaling ship on the island. People were amazed at the sight of the unbelievable catch the brave vessel had on board. Of a size that went beyond that of a formidable toothed whales, the Cetacean, that is already being called the miraculous catch, covered the whole deck, and parts of it were hanging over the side of the ship. The surviving sailors told a frightening account of their perilous catch, but also of its meat, unmatched in its quality and plentiful nutritional benefits. There is no doubt that the immense size of this whale will allow numerous inhabitants of Darkwater to feed themselves, bringing an end to the famine from which part of the island was suffering. Whereas for rent, Mr. Marks is putting his warehouse up for rent from June, for fishing, workshop, or storage activities. Special evening. To celebrate the return of our brave whalers, all the staff invites you to an exceptional and free testing event, or tasting. Okay. Well, considering the fact that this catch apparently saved the entire city from starvation, I'd say it's a pretty big deal. I have to agree with everybody else. Prohibition. Yeah, sounds about right as far as prohibition goes. I'm not kidding when I say that nobody gave a fuck. The police didn't give a fuck. The regular people didn't give a fuck. Fuck, even politicians didn't give a fuck. There were senators in Prohibition who got alcohol and stored it before Prohibition, and there was so goddamn much of it that they made that I believe some of them were even able to make it through the whole fucking ordeal. Nobody gave a fuck. They only did it because one minority got their voices heard loud enough.
Broken. This place seems half abandoned. I wonder what Captain Fitzroy has got to say about this woman, Cat.
Captain, the terms of our agreement are clear. Keep your men under control. You cannot afford to provoke us. No need to answer this message. Just make your payment to the carrier. Cat. And you just leave that open in a drawer for anybody to get?
A souvenir from a more prosperous era. The Scylla. It finished up beached at the entrance to the harbor.
Oh, that's a weird way to pronounce that. I figured it was Skyla. The second volume teaches ethics and good practice of medical staff. The Stranded Whale. A bar where liquor is served with total impunity, like most other places in the goddamn United States, even during the 1920s. It's the last thing I expected to find when I arrived on this. The last thing? My guy. Okay, here's how hardcore. This guy must not get out much if he didn't expect to find liquor when he arrived on the island. Here's why I say that. There was a man in, I believe, 1926, in the middle of the Prohibition, who performed a test. He went to different cities and got taxis and went to see how long it would take each cab driver to offer him an alcohol drink, or to say, like, not offer him per se, but to not himself, but like, to say, hey, it looks like you could use a pick-me-up, want to go to the speakeasy for a drink, that type of shit. And like almost every single place, the cab driver would make the offer within 1 minute of him getting in the cab, because nobody gave a fuck. I don't know. It's the reason I mention that. It's just really bothering me that this game makes it seem like nobody ever fucking like disobeyed Prohibition. Everybody did, because nobody gave a flying fuck. The Stranded Whale is its name, and it's managed with an iron fist by the owner, a certain Mitchell. He does not tolerate troublemakers, and he fiercely protests the identity of his supplier. Well, yeah. I mean, I can tell you who a supplier is already. The same supplier that a lot of people had, especially on the East Coast. The fucking Mafia. Or if you were in the West Coast, it was imported from Canada. Or if you were to the South, it was imported from, I forget the country, but I believe it was in South America. Like, it's not a secret. It's not a secret now, and it wasn't a secret back then. My guess is Boston is East Coast, so my guess is he's getting it from the Mafia, or somebody, or a third party who's from the Mafia. Okay. Let me actually go ahead and talk to the... Well, no, let me explore more first. I don't give a fuck about that guy. In all honesty. Even though he's the reason I'm here.
This man and Fitzroy could be twins.
Or it is him.
What a macabre souvenir.
How? It's a fucking boat paddle. In case anybody doesn't know what macabre means, it refers to something that's dark, violent, or gory. Unless you're in a zombie apocalypse, in what way is an or macabre? For example, a macabre joke would be a joke that makes light of death and or violence. Alright, Mr. Fitzroy.
I've brought out the Charles Hawkins cargo manifests. They're on the table next to you. But in truth, you're likely to be disappointed. When you're done, come join me on the deck.
Sure.
These manifests are signed by Charles Hawkins. But that's all I'll get from them.
Only if it is illegible, whatever, blocked out. Who'd want this information to be hidden? Somebody who did the shit. Well, at least it has an actual door opening animation, even though it doesn't have a fucking body. I gotta say though, this place does look shitty. I mean, quite frankly, this place looks like nobody should even live here. Surprised anybody does.
From here, I see everything that goes on in the harbor. The hard-working lives of my sailors, the fights at the Stranded Whale. Even the antics of these wharf rats don't escape me.
It's you who lays down the law around here.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. I'm just the last serving captain on Darkwater. Tell me what I can do to help you.
Your manifests have been blacked out. They're totally unreadable.
Yeah, I saw that. I've got no idea who did it or why. I don't remember having countersigned anything special enough for someone to hide it.
And why obliterate the dates, as well as the goods stored in the warehouse?
You mean that the dates have some meaning?
Yeah?
I'm surprised Charles Hawkins had goods to store, knowing that whaling stopped in 1847.
I see that you're interested in the history of our island. Indeed, maritime activities ceased altogether at the end of the last century. I imagine that the Hawkins family had other types of contracts.
But you don't know with whom?
No, it was none of my business.
I'm looking for Warehouse 36. Do you know where it is?
Look, it's right there. The warehouse is opposite the jetty. You can't miss it.
Understood.
You know who the building belongs to, don't you?
It belonged to the Hawkins family.
Precisely. Ship owners from father to son.
I think that somebody here wanted me to search this warehouse. I'm just back from the wharves. The dead killer whale is unsettling the sailors.
Ah, yes. Us men of the sea are superstitious folk.
Killer whales don't have many known predators.
That's true. And normally, they're not found around here. But, you're gonna take me for a fool.
Give it a try.
Have you heard about the depths? Trenches that plunge into the earth and that shelter creatures unlike any other.
You're talking about mythology.
Ha! Indeed, you're right.
The police took the decision to put the killer whale back into the sea.
You've got to understand them. They didn't know what to do with it.
I think that was a mistake. Who says that whatever caused those wounds is no longer in these waters?
You think we should have kept it?
To look into the real cause of its death, at least. I was looking at your photograph. The one of the man in front of the boat.
Ah, yes, I can see the one you're talking about.
Interesting resemblance. I thought it was you, but with a wooden leg.
And for good reason. That's my father in the photograph.
Your father?
John Fitzroy, captain of the Scylla. His wooden leg is here. You can go and see it if you're interested.
If nothing else, this guy is surprisingly cordial.
I found a threatening letter, signed by a certain cat.
What? I don't mind you visiting my harbor master's office, but I'd prefer if you didn't go through my affairs.
Are you being blackmailed?
Not exactly, no. That shyster wants to make us pay protection money.
With any success?
I wouldn't say that, but she terrifies my men as much as her own.
Can you not do anything to stop her?
Don't you worry about that.
I shall be on my way.
So come back and see me when you've got something new.
Well, I don't suspect him in the slightest simply because he's cordial, you know, I mean, I'm fine with it. Well, if the warehouse is over there, then it means that my first priority needs to be... No, there's a car in the... Oh, no, never mind, here. Wait, is this it? Not quite.
You saw what happened with those sailors. Don't hang around here unless you want trouble with the bootleggers.
I've seen the kind of messages their boss sends. You're not scared of her.
Of course I am. Everyone's scared of that woman. She's not interested in small fry like me. You, on the other hand, nose around too much, you'll have dealings with her.
This warehouse looks abandoned. Why does it interest them so much?
No doubt a question of territory, but I ain't asking. You want to know more, go ask the captain.
Good. Thank you. I shall take my leave.
My guess is that lady didn't know there was smoke in his cat. Unless I'm supposed to think that, and it's somebody else.
It looks like there's a way in under this grate.
And it looks like that's what pulls it. So how in fuck do I get up there?
I could use this old winch to lift the grating,
Which is
but it's
exactly
been
what-
completely taken to bits. There must be some spare parts amid all this clutter.
fuck.
A whale vertebra. If the newspaper clipping in the bar is true, this bone is a real fossil.
Heavily to be lifted and held while no risk.
A ratchet device. Exactly what I need.
Well, I'm glad this guy knows what the hell that is, because I ain't got a fucking clue. How about just leave? Oh, the other one is a crank.
This handle will be perfect for the winch.
Convenient how this place just happened to have everything you needed. Something else? How about this?
Where do you think you're going?
I thought that the Hawkins case had been closed.
That's true.
So what are you doing on guard duty in front of this warehouse?
Who's asking the questions here, the cop or the tourist?
What more can you say about the death of the Hawkins family?
Not much more than what everyone knows. I wasn't on the case. They were all burnt to death, right? Up at their place.
The whole mansion went up in flames.
Don't get it into your head to go wandering around up there. It's dangerous.
What do you mean by that?
The only one left there is old Silas, and the accident has affected him badly. He can be unpredictable, especially if a stranger starts poking around the property.
Is he a danger to the public?
No, he's in his own home. Do yourself a favor. Leave him well alone. You again. I told you to beat it.
No need to get worked up.
Actually, you didn't tell me to beat it. But fair enough.
What? You could tell me.
No, if it gets out, I'll have serious problems with you.
How could you be dumb enough to leave the entrance to the warehouses unguarded?
Keep your voice down. Why not go and shout at the cat while you're at it? I don't want to end up with her little knife under my throat.
It's a stiletto, you idiot. And with that smell on your breath, I don't give you much chance anyway.
Okay.
Who's this guy?
No idea. You better keep it shut. What's with you wandering around here like a hungry dog?
Nope.
I've got to enter the Hawkins warehouse. I guess it's going to be complicated.
No, it's very simple, in fact. Fuck off.
I don't give a damn about your racket. I just want to get into this warehouse.
And we don't give a damn about you. Whatever your reason for wanting inside, there's nothing we can do for you.
I don't trust the eloquence yet.
Kat, she's your boss.
What? You listen through keyholes?
She's the boss, yeah. She says who goes in or not.
Shut up, you dummy. You wanted to know that you also talk too much.
She must be quite intimidating if she can make two men like you tremble.
She redid the smile of the last one who wanted to get in.
I hope he had a good dentist.
No, you don't understand. She really cut him a new smile.
But he only
Glasgow.
smiles with the left cheek.
She sounds frightening, your boss.
And she doesn't like to be talked about behind her back.
Fuck it.
I've got to get inside. It's your boss who sent me.
Oh, yeah? And why didn't she say anything to us?
She sent me to see who's filching her stock.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You got no proof to back up your claims, and I'd advise you against snitching.
It should be possible to mount this cogwheel on the winch.
Oh, is that fucking it now, finally? I really fucking hope it's finally it. Oh.
Looks like everything is in its place. All I have to do is turn this handle.
So fucking turn it. Oh. I can't tell you how fucking good that... Okay. I'm gonna off-screen all this, but I just went around the village a little bit and everything, trying to look for it, because I thought, you know, maybe the last piece isn't even in here. So I couldn't find it for the fuck of me. Oh, just, oh. This fucking shit, I'll tell you what.
Smoke. I hope it's not...
Same. That's just water. Oh. I thought that water was like deep enough to swim in. Tell you what though, if nothing else, I'm finally fucking making some... I don't even care. I truly don't. Like, the fact that I'm actually making progress now is like such a crazy thing to me. I don't even give a shit about this. There we go. Hello, underwater creature. How are you doing? Game, that's what happens when you have a fucking item that's so goddamn hidden that it takes a long time to find it.
This is... primitive.
And now is this the other entrance to it? I guess not.
Ugh, this place stinks. What is the connection between this place and the Sarah Hawkins case?
Tell you what, after that cogwheel, I'm gonna start investing a lot more heavily in spotted and spot hidden, because I'm pretty sure that's the reason why I couldn't find the shit.
What happened here?
Oh, what? So does this game have some kind of twin mirror thing too?
What is this picture of Charles and Sarah Hawkins doing here? Is this one of Sarah Hawkins' paintings?
Wait.
It smells as bad as it looks. Who has enough money to buy painkillers, but stays in a place like this?
Someone trying to hide. Oh, fuck. Is this it, though?
Someone has settled in here.
And whoever it is has something to tell me about the Hawkins case. Is there anyone in there? You! Don't move! Detective Pierce. I told you to stay away from this warehouse.
Wound up? You mean messed up?
Dog. We don't take no lessons from the likes of you. We do our job carefully and fairly. No
My
stone was
ass.
left unturned.
Really? Can you explain what this painting is doing here?
This strange portrait. Wait, I know it. It was in the Hawkins mansion when we came to investigate the fire.
So you confirm that it was removed from the crime scene. Interesting. I'd like to go and see the mansion now.
Of course. You want to go back along his trail? I'd like to understand how this painting made it to here. Come on. My car's parked down the way.
That's it?
Andrews, would you please shut the door? And open your eyes, damn it. This guy went right under your nose.
Is he
God
leading
damn
me
it.
into a trap?
Her again. This case has nothing
Sup,
to do
Cat?
with you, Baker. Clear the passage or I'll shut you up for obstruction.
Officer Bradley, you've finally grown a pair. Too bad you're too fat to see them down there.
Why, you?
Come on, keep the smile. You don't want to force me to widen it.
Okay, I get it. Can we go to the mansion now?
Who the hell are you? What were you doing on my turf? I've got my eye on you. We'll meet again.
Is it far, this mansion?
Look behind you, at the top of the ridge. You see the building? That's the Hawkins mansion. Come on, we got some driving to do.